Hello there, this is Msangi for Jishinda.com, and welcome to another episode of Business Central. And today we are going to look at permission sets. They enable a user to be assigned the objects that they are allowed to access. They can be assigned via user groups or directly to the users. Let's take a mini deep dive into it. Okay, let me open the permission sets page, and in this display you can see there's this permission set. This is the name. It's a code that you define. There is a name, a type, and this type is the one that will specify if this permission is from a base application or from an extension. And from the base application, meaning it has been shipped with Business Central and it cannot be edited. It can only be added features via the extensions. In previous versions of Business Central, we did not have the ability to extend permissions from code, but now this ability is there. And like this is a permission from an extension, it cannot be edited or altered from the system. It can only be changed in the extension. And how does this help? In case there is a hotfix that needs to be done to the system, it can be done from the extension, and with the update, this permission will this problem will have been sorted, because Microsoft are saying that they have a lot of requests or challenges from permission sets. And now we have entitlements in Business Central at the moment, and entitlements will define the set of objects or permissions that a user is required based on their role or the permission the role that they have been given in the Azure or Azure Azure Active Directory. And the entitlements can also be defined from extensions. So you can be able to define extensions, you can be able to define permissions from the extension. This gives an ability for the application developers to specify specific permissions that are so critical in the code, which cannot be changed. Let me open one. You see, this is an extension permission set. Let me try deleting. Okay, so it is specifying that you cannot change the permission set for the type extension, because the deletion is not allowed for this type of permission set. Okay, so I'll try now creating a new permission set from scratch, the one that is user defined. That one, anything that you want to do, you can be able to do. So today's tutorial, I'll call it that, and automatically it states that this is a user defined permission set. There is no extension in here. So I will go to permissions, and instead of adding the objects manually, because the read permission it specifies if you have access to read this permission, and there is yes, blank, or indirect. Indirect means the permission can be accessed through another object, not directly. So there is yes, blank, and indirect. Okay, you need to understand the table relations and the objects that are used by a specific let's say the vendors. If you're doing a purchase invoice, to understand that I need to assign this table, you need to see that you're assigning which table number, and it can be a bit tedious. That's why there's this function which is still there. You can record the permissions. For today, let me do this by clicking on start. When you click on start, you'll be able to record and use the system. and in the areas that you have used the system, all those permissions will be recorded and stored in this particular permission set. So I will start. So it is prompting me, do you want to start the recording now? I will proceed, and now open a duplicate page for this browser, in this browser, and now I try accessing a few areas in the system. Let me go to workflows, for instance. I try and open workflows. There is no workflow in the system. I will do new workflow from template. Okay, let me say general journal batch approval workflow, so that we can see what is there. So the category is finance. It's not enabled, but this is a template that has auto created the journal batch approval workflow. So I will enable it. It has been enabled. Okay, let me disable it so that I can see how the approval response has been set. But for the purpose of this, because we are not focused on workflows, let me now close this page, and now I will go back to this page where I was recording and then stop, and then let me see what has been done. So if I was to manually do all this, it could have taken me a lot of time to try and figure out the table that is required, the table data, and the kind of permission that is required. Is it read, execute, delete permission? So like the only insertion permission that I've been given is for this workflow and workflow step tables. So this is a powerful feature that is, yes, it has been shipped with other versions, it's still there, that enables us easily create permission sets. So in the next video, we'll create now the permission set from the code, so that it can come in form of an extension in a way that we cannot change from the front end. It provides security for that particular permission set, because if it was changed, trying to track the changes is very difficult. Maybe a person maybe removed a certain object. It's very difficult. And I think that's it for this video. God bless, and I will see you in the next video when we look at creating permission sets from the code.